I prepared just something really quickly that I wanted to share, and I promise I won't take up too much of your time, and let you know that I'm a preacher, because preachers lie about that and they keep you all night. So listen, real quick, I grew up here. My father's a street evangelist. He's 80 years old. He's been doing ministry since he was a kid, specifically in Colorado for the past 40 years. My mother was a single parent at times, and at the age of 11, after having been separated from my father, we were reconnected. At the age of 13, I earned my minister's license in the Colorado Pentecostal Church of God in Christ, and worked here in nursing homes, on the streets, Denver Rescue Mission, Comfort Food Ministries, Food Bank of the Rockies, on and on. My purpose in telling you this is not to boast, it's to tell you that I understand. I've never been homeless, but I can show sympathy for those who have spoken today. And the same goes for many, if not all of my colleagues, regardless of their affiliations. The mayor of Denver, 2 city council people, and the director of Denver's Road Homeless Initiative all live in my house district. House District 7 in far northeast, Denver, DIA, Green Valley Ranch, Montbello, Stapleton, and Northeast Park Hill. I know there's work being done in Denver to reduce and ultimately eliminate homelessness, and I would be remiss if I sat here and didn't say thank you for the work that is being done, and specifically thank you to Rep. Paul Rosenthal for coordinating a meeting earlier this year to discuss homelessness within the city. In all that, and my colleagues have done whatever we're working on to eliminate homelessness. It's not my only focus to provide these services, as well as multiple initiatives at once. That being said, the clear message today is that we have much more work to do. And let's be clear, this bill is not about solutions or housing, it's about criminalization. We've heard that over and over again, and concerned that this bill will somehow decrease efforts being made across the state to reduce homelessness, discourage healthy practices by a homeless population, or not be a good look. Let's be real, some people aren't as threatened as others by giving people freedom to exist where they may. There's an underlying concern that where authority doesn't exist, although it may be partially to provide resources, the chaos may ensue in either majority or minority of homeless individuals who may or may not lean towards the actions being law-abiding citizens. That's a social fear, and a problem for those who prefer not to engage with someone who may make them feel uncomfortable. For instance, this morning as I walked across the street from my car to my office, a homeless white man, called me the N-word, and eloquently told me this was his country and to go back to Africa from where I came from. Now, I'm from Park Hill in Denver, so I am home. I approached the man, and once he realized he had messed with the wrong one, he got really quiet. I won't go into details, but I loved on that man by speaking with him, feeling his hurt, praying for him. What we need, in addition to affordable housing and decriminalization, are lessons on how to treat one another. Something I'm glad my grandparents and parents taught me, along with the private school that taught me Black history. And if you're interested, my mama is available for a small consulting fee. Lastly, while we're on the topic of praying, I'd like to say that I believe Jesus wouldn't appreciate being used by any side of the argument to make a point. I serve a God that's not a Democrat or Republican. What Jesus would ask us to do is to live out his values and not simply speak about them. For those of us who believe in God, he requires we have faith and rely on him. And we can't do that without being uncomfortable enough to have no other choice but to rely on our faith and not ourselves solely to make decisions. So that being said, I ask each member to follow your own heart and your decision on this bill. The issue is bigger than the 13 of us. And there's nothing wrong with supporting our efforts statewide to reduce homelessness while we're building trust with the homeless community that may have been lost due to their perception, and in some cases, the reality that they have less right, especially under severe circumstances, to be where someone more fortunate is able to be without inciting concern of the public. So my decision is to support this bill because doing so will lead to more uncomfortable conversations on the House floor, hopefully. Thank you.
Representative